Hi, I'm Camille, creator of Apollo Angular. Apollo Angular is a library based on Apollo, and it connects the GraphQL with the Angular framework. I'm still before my morning coffee, but I've got something really special for you. I recently released a blog post about the new API of Apollo Angular, and I highly recommend to check it. This video is based on that article, and it's all about the new approach of using GraphQL in Angular. I will try to show you not only how to use it, but also what it enables. And I think it's super nice, it's super dope. And as a teaser, I would say it includes code generation. Okay, so this is a simple app that I usually use to show basics of Apollo. It's a list of posts. Each post has an author and a count of votes, as you can see. It all happens through GraphQL's queries. You can vote for any post you want by clicking the upvote button. This one uses GraphQL's mutation. So I already prepared everything, so we can just start using Apollo. A little about the structure of the app. It's very simple. We've got two components. First one is called list. The second one is upvoter component with a button for, just to vote for a post. Again, very simple app. So let me show you a schema that we have. So yet again, it's very simple. It's just an author with few details and a list of posts. Next, we've got a post type with a title, number of votes, and the author. What we can query is a list of posts and a single author. Voting for posts happens thanks to the upvote mutation. Now things get more interesting. We introduce a new approach of using GraphQL in Angular, and everything you need to know is in the article I mentioned at the beginning, so please go check it. So there are three new APIs for query, mutation, and subscriptions. We want to create the first one, so let's import a query class from Apollo Angular and create a new class called allPostGQL. And this class will be extended by the query class. Now we need the actual query, so let's import the GQL function. The query, mutation, and subscription classes accepts one property called document, and you put there a query that you want to use wrapped with the GQL function. So let's call the query all posts, and it's the same as the name of the class. We want to fetch posts with an ID, title, number of votes, and the author. Because we want to have a service here, let's add injectable decorator. Query, mutation, and subscription class accept two generic types. First one declares the shape of a result, the second the shape of variables. Now let's see how to use it in a component. We need to import the service first, inject it in the constructor, and to use allPostGQL service. As you can see, a query service exposes two methods. It's a watch and fetch. Watch is to observe changes in a query, and it will receive an update from the cache and so on. Fetch is just to request for data only once. So fetch and watch have pretty much the same arguments. First one expects an object with variables, and the second one all the other options like fetch policy and so on. We're going to use the watch method. It gives us in return an object that has value changes property. It exposes a regular RxJS observable. So let's use a flag operator to access the list of posts. Okay, we need to check if it works. Great. When we click on upvote button, nothing happens. From query, let's jump to a mutation. Let's call the file upvote mutation. Again, import a service. This time it's a mutation. Same steps. A class, now a GQL function, and a document. Let's name it upvote. And since we upvote a single post, we need its ID. What we need in return is an ID and a number of votes. Mutation class is pretty much the same as a query class, so let's make it strongly typed. Let's use it in an upvoter component. Same process with a query. We need to import our mutation, provide it in a component, and call it inside of upvote method. And the API of mutation is different than it was in query. We've got just one method, called mutate. And as you can see, it accepts 2 arguments, just like the query. First one is a place to put variables in. The second one is for options. So you put there things like fetch policy and others. So let's actually use it. We need to provide a post ID variable because it's a cold observable, just like the one you have in Angular when using HTTP client service. We need to subscribe to it to make it execute the mutation. It auto-completes itself, so no need to unsubscribe. Okay, let's check if it runs. Super nice. As you can see, we now can vote for posts. Let's sum it up first. We created 2 services with 2 documents and a couple of interfaces. Seems like a lot to do by yourself. And here comes the dope part. We don't have to actually do it. We have recently released a tools to do that for us. A quick and very scientific explanation of what we want to show here. Yeah, as you can see, we create a simple GraphQL file with a query. The tool called GraphQL-Code-Generator turns this into a ready-to-use Angular service, just like the one we did ourselves. We really like it. So let's now play with the code-gen and see it in action. First, as I told you, we need to create a GraphQL file with a document. Let's start with a query. We copy it from our service. We do the same for mutation. What I really like about this approach is that you get all those features like auto-completion or even instant validation, just like that, for free. Now let's see it in action. We won't talk about how to set things up. I will post that example on GitHub, and I think you will find a link in the description. Because I already prepared everything, let's run an npm script. So it generated everything, and as you can see, we can find it in app/generated/graphql.ts, and let's dive into this file and see the output. So we've got everything, like the query, mutation, and a lot of other types to use in the app. And now we can just throw away all those interfaces and services away that we created. Let's now switch from our services to the one that has been generated. So the final step, we can remove basically all the work that I showed you and that we did together, because the code-gen with Apollo Angular template does all that for us. To make sure we did everything correctly, let's run the app. Yay, it works. To summarize, only thing we need to do is to write a document and just use this as a service in your component. That's it, and the service is auto-generated, which is super nice and super simple. So thank you guys for staying that long with me, and please follow us on Medium and GitHub. We're going to publish a lot about how we make open source and what have we learned about GraphQL in recent years. So thank you again.